Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Cover to Cover. You're here with Andrea
and Morgan. Well, we're here today at Go Read. We love books, don't we? We have books everywhere, and we imagine you do as well. We fill our bookshelves with books. We use them as decoration. We use them to remember our favorite eras in life. We put them on our nightstand. I line mine all up, and this is my to-be-read list. Well, the question today is, can you have too many books?
No.
Well, apparently, according to some, owning anything over 1,000 books makes you a book hoarder.
What?
Yes. So, I think it's entirely possible that I am close to being a book hoarder, or I might get there someday. What about all of you watching this morning? Are you a book hoarder? Can you have too many books or not? And this morning we're going to talk about some examples of book hoarders. Some of the biggest book hoarders in history might actually surprise you.
I think I might be a borderline book hoarder. People from all walks of life, such as George Washington to Marilyn Monroe, were avid book collectors, but some book collectors took it much further. Karl Lagerfeld, a famous German fashion designer, tops the list of book hoarders. Books are his favorite decoration, and he has an enormous collection of over 300,000 books. Lagerfeld is quoted as saying, "Books are a hardbound drug with no danger of overdose. I am the happy victim of books." What do you think about that?
I love it. I'd rather him have his books than anything else.
Yeah,
so.
Okay, I think there, need to be some stipulations here. Okay, so maybe if it's, it is appealing to the mind, so obviously you are training yourself, so it's for a good cause, books, and if you're using it as decoration, it's a twofer. So I don't think you're a book hoarder if you have some of these certain things, criteria.
I think it's only non-book lovers who would call us book hoarders.
Yeah, how dare you call us book hoarders?
We don't
Not you guys, because you guys love books like us, but your friends, or
your friends,
other people.
Everyone collects something, so why not books?
Absolutely, I agree with that. I'm definitely on board with that.
Well, good. Well, there's another book hoarder. We don't want to call him a book hoarder because we love him, but George Lucas is a runner-up in the book hoarding world. If you want to call it that, the book lover world. His collection is a little bit smaller, though. It comes in at around a whopping 27,000 volume collection. It's a lot of books. He also houses a vast collection of movies, over 17,000, and a lot of other memorabilia. He keeps his collection at the Skywalker Ranch. He opens his library for viewing only for special guests and his employees, so sorry guys, we're out of luck. The public isn't invited anytime soon.
Oh, okay. If anybody has any connections to George Lucas, I would love to go to Skywalker Ranch, so hook me up. That sounds amazing. And another person on the list of famous book hoarders is Jay Walker. So he's kind of known in the entrepreneurial world as the founder of Priceline.com, and he's actually well known for his personal library at his estate, which he refers to as the Library of the History of Human Imagination. Well played. In his collection, located at Richfield, Connecticut, he houses over 20,000 volumes of books. Some say upwards of 50,000. His library is a multi-level maze facility inspired by M.C. Escher. Though it is not open to the public, it is touted as being one of the most amazing libraries in the world.
Wow. I love that these people have these libraries. Like George Lucas, he actually has a place where people go in and do research at his library.
Why don't you open up your libraries, guys?
And it's also on a farm.
Yeah, okay, I think we should spread the gift of literature. Sharing is caring.
Well, speaking of gifts, here's another gift idea for all those book lovers, or even for yourself. There's a new cool poster that helps you keep track of all the books that the classic books at least, that you have read.
The 100 Essential Novels Scratch-Off Chart is a pre-made TBR list for anyone wanting to get through most of the most well-revered classics. PopChart Lab is a Brooklyn-based company that creates a variety of scratch-off charts. This special edition chart lists 100 essential literary classics from 1605 to present. From Jane Austen to George Orwell and beyond, this poster has something for everyone. It's at $35 and is in an 18 by 24, so you can find your copy at popchartlab.com.
Super cool. I think this is really cool because At our home, we just typed up a list of all the classics that we want to go through, and we just checked them off. So
I know. I love classics, and I always feel bad when people are talking about like these certain classics and I haven't read them, you know, and then I forget and I go back to like my favorites. So it's nice to have a list to actually go through. That's really cool.
I think this would be a great gift for a high school student who is starting to read the classics. So
True.
anytime you can check anything off a list or scratch it off, that gives you a sense of I accomplished something.
Oh, well, I love making checks.
Yeah.
Like that is the best, most satisfying.
Do you have a way that you keep track of all the books you read?
Actually, yeah, I do. So I have a GoRead.com page, and so it's kind of like a social media site. So if you guys haven't built one yet, it's really cool for readers out there. And so there, I have like my own little personal library, and so I go in there and can put all the books that I've read. And it is kind of like a checklist feeling, like I feel better about myself, you know, because I'm like, oh, I have like read all these really awesome books, and then it reminds me of what I've read and want to reread as well.
Yeah.
So how about you?
I have one of those as well. Still building my personal library up because I have so many books to go through. And I'm trying to organize my books right now.
It's cool. I mean, it gives you something to talk about. You know,
Yeah.
I've had people come onto my page and they're like, I have seen you've read all these classics. Like, what do you guys think about, or what do you think about this and this? So it's really cool to have that community.
I loved it. It kind of gets you into the soul of the person. Like,
yeah.
I know you a little bit better. You'll look at my page and you'll think, she is a nerd. That's what you'll think. Well, it's... Open an account, get the poster. It's a cool thing to add to your checklist.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to take a quick break. But when we get back, we are going to acknowledge some anniversaries, and you'll hear a little bit about what's trending right now in author news. So we'll see you in a minute.
And unfortunately, the only thing that he could not stop was himself. Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yes. Well, I did some research on what his disease was. You know, it's an iron deficiency, and it impacts all your organs, and it causes depression. Not just depressed because your body is physically shutting down, but real depression, a mental condition. And this is just crazy that he went through so much in his life.
Yeah, he's super cool. Way too many cool points in my book, just saying.
Yeah, yeah. Lets us know a little bit about who he was, and it helps us understand his writing.
Cheers, Hemingway. This one's for you.
For you. We remember you. Thank you for all your work and for what you contribute to literature. Well, today there's another anniversary. It's the anniversary of publishing Isaac Newton's work, Principia. It was published on July 5th, 1687. Now, this became one of the most important books published in modern European history, detailing Newton's 3 laws of motion. The first edition sold out very quickly. Another wasn't reprinted until 1713, making the copies of the work very rare.
Interesting. Well, books are in no short supply today, and Oprah is going to keep piling books up for us with her excellent recommendations. And she has recently announced her next top pick for us is Behold the Dreamers by Mbalo Mbwe. She described the book as being about race and class, the economy of culture, immigration, and the danger of the us versus them mentality. And underneath it all pumps the heart and soul of family love, the pursuit of happiness, and what home really means. The author was stunned and speechless to be selected, and she shared her thoughts and stated, 15 years ago, I walked into a public library and borrowed my first Oprah's book club selection, Toni Morrison's Song of Solomon, and was so inspired by it that I began writing without thinking much of where my writing would lead me. Behold the Dreamers came out in August of 2016 and is now available in paperback. And Oprah's 2016 selection of The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead took the young author to even greater fame. He won the Pulitzer Prize for his book and has gone on to travel, giving lectures and speeches. He has an upcoming appearance as the keynote speaker at the Content Marketing World 2017 conference in Cleveland, Ohio.
Well, Oprah's book clubs have a lot of sway over us and over the book world.
Yeah.
And she is still one of the top authorities in book recommendations out there. You can join her book club online, but let us know if you are a part of it, because I'm not. Are you?
Not yet.
I'm not, but I look at her recommendations. Let us know if you're part of it and if you've read any of the recommendations that she's given or any of the 2 books we mentioned today. We'd love to hear more about them and maybe add them to our TBR list.
Yeah.
Well, we are really excited about a literary conference that focuses on children's literature because we love to get children reading. Shenandoah University in Winchester, Virginia recently kicked off its 32nd annual Children's Literature Conference. Now, the goal of the gathering is to unite young readers with materials and authors and inspire them to find the one book that sets them up as a reader for life.
Cool.
This year's conference theme was Once Read, Never Forgotten, Creating Readers One Book at a Time. One founder of the project has stated that change happens when people come together, and that's really what's important. So, what do you think? What's that one book that set you up on the path to becoming a forever reader?
Oh, for me, it was definitely the Great Illustrated Classics as a kid. So I loved the stories, and every single page came with like an illustration next to it, so you could really see what was going on. And that's what got me hooked on classics like later on in life.
Wow.
Like that was huge for me.
How old were you?
I think I started in 3rd or 4th grade with those books and just fell in love. How about you?
I would say 3rd grade when I read Where the Red Fern Grows.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I had this thing with dog books.
Oh.
Red Fern Grows, Shiloh. I talked about A Dog's Purpose last week.
Really sad dog books. Yeah.
There's another Nicholas Sparks book called The Guardian with a dog in it. They just get me every time. But for me, that was the first book I sat down and I read, and I really understood it and got into it and enjoyed it. I've shared with you on the show before that I had hearing problems when I was younger, and they figured it out in 1st grade, but I was kind of behind and had to catch up. And so it was around 3rd grade that I really started reading.
That's cool. So it was really important to you at that time.
It was, yeah, it was. So let us know, what was that one book that set you up as a forever reader? Well, I know for me that there's crucial books I read as a kid. I read them, some of them, many, many times, and I would do so again. How about you?
Definitely, and I think we all do that. And rereading can be good for many other reasons. Studies show that you sometimes have to introduce foods multiple times to kids to get them to have a palate for them. The same thing can be said about books. Perhaps if you were in a bad mood when you began a book, or if you were in a bad place in your life, or maybe you were annoyed, you might have had to put that book down and then you never picked it up again. So, I mean, we're challenging all of you guys out there to just grab those books again and reread them and see what you think about them this time, and for that and many other reasons.
I've tried to do this with some classics that I just could not get through in high school.
Like what?
I have a list. It's on my list of classics.
I had a hard time with Dracula just because it was like it was scary to me.
Yeah,
it was really freaky.
Maybe I should put some William Shakespeare on there, since I've talked about on the show that I just couldn't get into him.
I was reading The Picture of Dorian Gray at like kind of a rough time in my life, and it was like such an intense book. Like I was expecting like a funny Oscar Wilde book, and I'd always heard about Picture of Dorian Gray. I didn't know much about it, so I like picked it up and I put it down, and for like weeks I just felt so guilty because I can't, like, it's hard for me to put down a book and then not pick it up again.
Yeah.
So I finally picked it up like maybe 2 months ago and then finished it. But And it wasn't so bad. It really wasn't. So you guys should definitely be rereading books and see what you think about them this time. Like, don't give that book up. Keep persisting.
So I'm going to go home and revisit my TBR list, my to be read list, or to be reread list. And right now, as I'm thinking about it, everyone out there watching, share this post, send us a message, let us know the book you're rereading, and we'll also send you a t-shirt. We have V-neck t-shirt and crew neck t-shirt, so let us know what choice you would like, the V-neck or crew neck, your size, and your address, and we will get those t-shirts out to you.
These t-shirts are amazing. They're so soft, and they're perfect for you or your friends or your husband, singular, I was about to say plural, husband or, girlfriend or boyfriend.
I am reading The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, so...
Okay, yeah, so maybe husbands. Yeah. And thank you guys so much for joining today. I am Andrea.
And I'm Morgan.
And we'll be back on Friday, July 7th at our new time of 12 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central Time. Until then, guys, keep reading, writing, and being awesome because I know we will. Bye.
Bye.